Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. So I got this question that I'm not going to say the first name. We'll call him Mr. M because it's a unique enough name, and I think the situation is unique enough that I don't want anyone to be personally identified here. But essentially, it's a really long email, but there is a TLDR. So I'll give you the TLDR, and then I'll sort of extrapolate from the information here. But I thought this was a good question because this is something that comes up a lot, and there's a good lesson in this. And it says, actually, the title of the email, the subject is pretty good. It says, The Awesome Leader Problem. So, anyway, the email says, Hi, John. I saw most of your videos, but there's a question I still couldn't answer. You're willing to help people like me, so I'm reaching for you. Okay, so TLDR. Say you're a developer who needs a great leader to follow, but you don't have one. You can't be the leader because you're the developer and you love it. Your current manager has great potential and is hardworking, but there's a struggle in her mind and she can't tell what her role is anymore. Product starts well, but soon spirals into chaos. You have two options. One, run away in search of a better place, like you've done several times before. Two, help your manager become the leader you need her to be. Or three, I'm completely misreading the situation and don't see the right answer. If you would, or I would gladly clarify any details if you think it would help, and just in case you're going to do a video, please keep my name anonymous, which I did, Mr. M. So, anyway, there's a long portion here as well, but this is kind of interesting. So really, essentially, like after reading through, but and you don't really need to know all the details to see this one point, which is essentially it comes down to this, right? A very common situation is you're a developer or whatever, you're the technician, right? And you want things done a certain way. You want a certain type of leadership or management. You want to go a certain direction. Maybe you have a vision, and what you want is for someone, for the manager or the leader, you don't want to be the leader because you're the technician, you're the developer, you're the person working in the code. You like what you do. You're the artist, right? You don't want to be the leader because that would take away from your time coding. I've been there, I think a lot of developers have struggled with this, with management and in leadership opportunities, but you want something to happen. You want to go a certain direction. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to coach your manager who's not quite there, or the leader, and you want to help them to take it the direction you want to go, right? This is essentially what the problem is here. And there's a few problems with this, but I'm basically going to give this advice in this situation. It boils down to this. If you want to go a direction, you've got two choices, right? The first choice is that you can find someone who is already heading that direction, who's already has the vision that you want to go, and align yourself behind them and follow them. The second choice is that you can be the leader and you can help set the course and the vision and have people and lead people the direction you want to go. What you can't do is what Mr. M is wanting to do here, which is coach someone else to be the leader, to do his vision, leading the leader. You can't do that. That's not an option. One, people aren't going to take too well to that. No one likes that at all. Two, it's not effective, right? It doesn't make any sense. So, honestly, when you're in this situation, you've got one of those two choices. So basically what I would say to you, Mr. M, is that you can either find another job, but find the job where the leader's already heading in the right direction, or what you perceive to be the right direction, the direction that you want to go. And, from your past history, I'm starting to wonder if that's realistic. You might not be able to find it. I mean, no situation is going to be ideal, right? It's never going to be, if you want something to be ideal, you're going to have to make it that way. And even then, right, you can have this vision, but it's never going to be exactly what you want. So your option is basically quit this job and go and find someone that's better aligned with the vision that you have and follow them, right? And then you can code, you can have your head down, and you can code and you can do whatever. Or your second option is that you're going to have to step up and be the leader. If and you're going to have to maybe not code as much, but you can set the team the direction that they need to go, and you can do what needs to be done. And, in my own career, I've chosen the second a lot of times, right? There was such a long time. I mean, in fact, the fact that I'm doing simple programmer instead of programming is sort of that choice, right? Because so many times in my career, I was just like, oh, I just want to code because I love coding, right? I was fighting this battle my whole career of just wanting to code, but I would see things like you, conscientious, you know, of I would see things that were wrong, that needed to change, that needed to fix, that needed help, that needed some guidance, and I couldn't just let it go. I couldn't just sit there and not do anything. So I stepped up, and I stepped up, and I kept stepping up, and every time I stepped up, it pulled me away from writing code, and but I felt like that was a higher calling because I felt like that's what I needed to do, and that's so if that's the case for you, then that might be what you have to do. And when I formed Simple Programmer, when I finally stopped pretty much coding altogether, and why I'm doing these videos and doing what I do at Simple Programmer, it's all based on that. It's like, yeah, I would love to sit down and write code and do that kind of stuff, but my purpose is better served by what I'm doing with the videos, what I'm doing with the blog, what I'm doing with helping developers and teaching soft skills and talking and speaking and doing all these things. And so that's why I'm doing that instead of maybe what would be a little bit more fun, although this is arguably fun. But anyway, I don't want to go too far off sidetrack. The point is really, when you're in that situation, you've got to make one of those two choices, and you can't ever coach someone into being the leader or visionary. That's just never going to work out for you. So you're going to have to figure that out on your own and decide what you want to do. But if you the road you're going right now is not good. Don't continue on this road. Either quit this job and find one where you're better aligned, or you're going to have to step up and hopefully you can reverse some of the damage that's been done at this point. Because I feel like what you've been doing, you're doing it for the right reason. You honestly want to help, but it's caused damage, right? No one, again, I always talk about the How to Win Friends and Influence People. You can check out this book if you haven't read it already. You cannot use negative reinforcement. People are not going to take criticism. So if you have a manager and you're telling your manager that they're doing things wrong and they're responsible for the failure of the team, they're just never going to take it. They're never going to take your coaching, in that way. So that's it. I think you've got some important decisions to make. And if you have a question for me, email me at john@simpleprogrammer.com. If you like this video, if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to the channel. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.